Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I was doing yellow and green. I used these two palettes and I had so much fun with this eyeshadow look. If you've never been here before, hey, my name is Rachel. I am a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I love to play with color. I love to play with colorful eyeshadow. I've been uploading a lot of videos lately, 4 or 5 videos every week, including weekends. It's all eyeshadow related content. So if you like that sort of thing, you may want to consider subscribing before you leave. Hit the notification bell so you're updated on all of my new uploads. And today I'm also going to be doing a little story time at a request from a subscriber about our dog. We have a Border Collie Springer Spaniel mix and she's a wonderful dog. So today I'm going to tell you her story while I put on eyeshadow. Now without further ado, let's get going. Alright, let's get started. I already primed my eyes. I used the Glamlight Icing Primer in the shade White Frosting. And I want to dive right in. I think I want to do a yellow and green, like two-tone crease. And then deepen with a darker green in the outer and kind of go from there. I think I want to use the yellowy shimmer tone from the Honey palette. So let's get moving. And I'm going to talk today about our dog. One of my subscribers requested that I give you guys a little story time about our dog because oftentimes you hear her obnoxious noises in the background. This is a medium blending brush and I'm going to start in the shade Oh Behave within the Honey palette. I'm going to put this in my inner crease. And anyway, so a subscriber said, hey, we often hear these noises from your dog and then you apologize because, you know, she's being dramatic or obnoxious or making some disgusting dog noise. And she's like, I'd love to hear about your dog. Like, can you tell us about the dog? Story time. I will put up the comment in the screen because I don't remember exactly what she said, but she thought it'd be fun to have a little story time about the dog. And I thought that was a great idea. I also thought that would be fun. So I'm going to tell you about our dog. Our dog is a Border Collie Springer Spaniel mix. I think that means that she's called a Sprawly. Not sure. We've always wanted a dog, but all the places that we lived, pets were not allowed. So when we moved to this new state where we currently reside, we told our landlords, hey, we would love to get a dog if that's okay. And they said, oh, that's no problem, because they had lived there for years. They had a fenced-in front yard, and they had several dogs, all of which were outside. They were like all outside dogs, because our landlords had some allergies to pet dander, but they still loved dogs, and so they owned 4, I think, and all of them lived out in the front yard in the fenced area. So we said, yes, we're allowed to get a dog. That's great. And we moved into that home in November, right before Thanksgiving, right before COVID. And then our landlords went on vacation, and they said, hey, do you mind dog sitting one of our dogs? Because they would pick up strays. So they brought in a new dog, and this new dog was starting to influence the other dogs to try to run away. And so they said, we just need someone to dog sit our older dog because she started to run away, you know, with this new dog. And we're like, yeah, no problem. Again, we're living in the house where the dog has lived for almost a decade. And it was just a matter of being around to feed her. And so we said, yeah, no problem at all. So we started to dog sit this dog, and let me give you her background. First, I'm going to move into a new color because that is looking really pretty. I'm excited about this Honey palette because I really do like yellow, and I think yellow is a beautiful complement to so many other colors. Maybe sometime I'll try an all yellow look, but anyway, I like to pair yellow with other colors. I'm going to take a more dense blending brush. This is from e.l.f. and I'm going to go into the Dirty Martini palette, and now I want to play with the shade Garnish. I think I'm going to deepen this slightly, but I want Garnish to be the main color in the outer corner. So I'm putting Garnish in the outer corner area, and I'll meet the yellow mattes. So the dog's story is that she was found by our previous landlords walking the streets, makes her sound like a hooker. She's a dog, right? She was a stray. And she was found by them when she was about a year old, according to the vet's estimate. They picked her up off the streets and they gave her a home. And they had her for 9 years. So when we came on scene, she was about 10 years old. She had lived outdoors with them for 9 of those years. And her name is Tess. And Tess is possibly the sweetest dog on earth. She's so great. So here's the shade Garnish. I'm going to blend out and then deepen. So first I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, and it's pinched as well. I'm going to go into the shade Dirty Martini, really lightly, And I'm just gonna put it on the edge of garnish, and I'm also probably gonna blend it a little bit over towards this yellow, just to bring in a little more green here, but not too much. It's just kissing the edge of the colors to soften them a little and fade them out. So Tess had lived with our landlords for a decade, and when we dog sat her, we were just blown away by how sweet she was. She's just got the best temperament. She is kind, she's patient, she was great with our daughter. She would let our daughter dress her up in like a house coat and walk around. She was just awesome. Obedient, sweet. If you could choose the characteristics you would want your dog to have, and put them all into, you know, a breed that you liked, that's what this dog was. She was great. My only complaint with her is that she's a long-haired dog, so now that she's indoors, it gets everywhere. But that comes later in the story. So we were dog sitting Tess, and we messaged our landlords like, this dog is great. Thank you so much for letting us watch her. And the landlords are like, well, you know what? We're thinking about rehoming her because we brought in this other dog, and, you know, Tess is getting kind of old, and maybe if you guys really like her that much, you can just keep her. So I talked to my husband, and he's like, sure. You know, we've been wanting a dog. So we said, yes, definitely. We want to keep this dog. She's great. All right, now with a denser blending brush, I'm going to go into the shade Dry Vermouth, and I'm going to deepen just the outer corner. We decided to keep the dog, and we also decided shortly thereafter to bring her indoors because she was such a nice dog, but she got very little attention when she was outside. So bringing her inside made sense. I mean, she was old and we felt bad. Like, she's a great dog, wonderful personality, but she's banished outside all day, and I felt bad. And landlords didn't have her inside because, again, they had some allergies. But we didn't have that problem, and so we decided to bring her indoors. And it was actually really easy to house train her because, I'm not sure why exactly, because you can't teach old dogs new tricks. But she was really easy to house train. She almost never used the bathroom in the house. I think it was because she had spent her whole life outside. And so she knew that you go to the bathroom in the grass by a tree or whatever. You don't go to the bathroom indoors. Being indoors was special. So I think that's why it was easy to house train her. I'm not sure if that's really what it was, but I'm not complaining. Ooh, I want to bring this Dirty Martini shade down onto the lower lash line. I'm going to put on the whole lower lash line, and then I think I'm going to possibly do something else there. I'm not quite sure, but this would be my base color that sort of fades out. We found a groomer because before I brought her indoors, I was like, I want the works. I want fleas and tick treatments. I want like a really deep cleaning. Let's bring this stray or this outdoor dog for the last decade indoors. I'm gonna get her clean first. So I found a groomer, and she told me that Tess has the best personality traits of both of her breeds all rolled into one happy dog with none of the flaws. She really doesn't have any flaws. She is an awesome dog. I don't know, perhaps if she were a younger dog, maybe she would have been a little bit harder, but she's old now. I mean, to our best guesstimate, she's 13 years old, and she just doesn't care to cause trouble. Actually, it's funny, when we head outside, she loves to be outside. She's glad she doesn't live outside. She's definitely become a bit of a princess. But when we go outside with her, I'm going to go back into Honey, and I'm going to try to apply the shimmer with my finger. I like ColourPop shimmers with my finger. I want to see how it performs. Here's the shade Dandy. I'm going to put that in my inner corner and see what it looks like. Anyway, when we go, oh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. When we go outside with Tess, she is so excited. She's like a puppy. She loves the outdoors, and she'll jump around and cavort and play, but then she gets tired because she's old. So we might walk around our apartment complex because we're no longer living in the house where we first moved when we came to this state. We'll walk around the complex, and she's all energy for the first lap. All energy. She's sniffing everything. She's peeing everywhere. She's just excited about everything. But then by the time we get back around for the second lap, she started to slow down. And then a third lap, and she's lagging behind. And then I'm like, all right, go inside and get some water, and I'll keep walking by myself. But the poor dog is done. Oh man. Okay, so this is looking pretty. This is the gist of the eye look, but I do want to spice it up a little bit more and finish the lower lash line. So what should we do there? I think I'm going to grab a shimmer from Dirty Martini because I like the shimmers in Dirty Martini. I think I'm going to take the shade High Class. I will use a flat brush for this, and I'm going to spray it. Is that the one I want to do, or is that not interesting enough? You know what? That's just not exciting enough for me today. That's just not exciting enough. I think I'm going to pull in a little bit of orange. I'll grab the shade Just a Splash instead. Same thing, put it on the brush and then I'll spray the brush. So with Just a Splash, I'm going to put that where the shimmer meets the matte, yellow shimmer into the green matte. I just want to bring in a little bit of this color and transition into the formula. I don't know, make it a bit more interesting, a bit more high shine, because the Glam Light shimmers are a little bit higher metallic level. And oh, I don't know, I guess we're about at the end of our story. I mean, Tess is an awesome dog. She loves us. She's amazing with the baby, by the way, I guess she's now a toddler. I'm gonna have to say toddler and baby once I have this new baby. But Tess is amazing. Like I said, with our older daughter, she would let the kid dress her up and walk around. I've got pictures, I'll see if I can find them. I've got pictures of the dog wearing my daughter's house coat and looking at me like, please save me. But never has she snapped or tried to bite or scratched at our older daughter. Never. She's just, okay, I guess this is what's happening right now, you know. Maybe it's age, maybe it's personality, maybe it's both. She's wonderful. There have only been 2 instances where she has snapped at our toddler. And that was because, and I understand, I don't fault the dog for this at all. In both of these cases, she was sleeping on the floor and the toddler, who was learning how to walk, fell directly onto her head. And so the dog would wake up and just react by sort of like going like this. But she caught herself because as she woke up and reacted, she understood what was happening and she would pull back. Like, she never tried to reach out and bite. She never even closed her mouth. It was just wake up and go, oh, you know. So that's happened twice. But again, I don't fault the dog. She was sleeping and something dropped onto her head, like hard, you know, like directly onto her head. And I actually give her a bit of credit for catching her reaction in a split second. Aside from those 2 instances, we've never had any aggression from her, ever. The kids will lay on her, they'll snuggle her, maybe the little one will walk up to her and like hug her body or chase her around the house holding onto her tail. And the dog's like, I'll just go over here now. And she's wonderful. She's just the best, most sweet-tempered dog I have ever met. We got so lucky. If you could choose what you wanted, this is what we would have chosen. And she's awesome. She's a great dog. I'm going to grab a smudger brush into the shade Garnish that I used before. I'm just going to put this on the lower outer lash line and see if it deepens it enough. And if not, then I'll go into dry vermouth. This might not go as deep as I want. So I'm going to dip into dry vermouth now and do the same thing, basically. Just layering on the different depths in smaller and smaller areas until I get it to be just as I like. I really like the way that this looks now with the Just a Splash shade in the center. It brings in a smidge more color for an interest point, but not something that's so different that it detracts from the basic concept of yellow and green. Okay, so now in the waterline, I'm going to use the shade 2 Can Do It from ColourPop's Creme Gel Liners. Beautiful metallic marigold. And I'm going to go off camera to finish everything up, and then I'll be back to close out the video and the story about Tess. And yeah, I'll see you in a second. Alright guys, so here's the finished look. I did a winged eyeliner. I did use that 2 Can Do It liner on my waterline. On my face, I'm wearing the Nomad Around the World Positano Sunrise highlighter. Very, very pretty. Peachy, pinky, corally sort of color. And on my lips, I'm wearing the Hot Spark ColourPop lip oil. That's everything. Let me finish my story about Tess, our sweet, sweet dog Tess. So I wanted to say, oh yes, Tess knew that I was pregnant before we did. After we got Tess and I became pregnant with our toddler, she started following me around. Like, she used to be with me, you know, and we had an outdoor machine shop that I was running full time, and so she would come outside and, you know, hang out in the shop with me, but she had a special spot in the shop. And when I became pregnant, I noticed that she, instead of going to her spot, she would either park herself within a foot of me, or she would position herself very nearby but facing the door. And she did that my entire pregnancy. And I was like, this dog actually has some pretty strong protective instincts. When I would go to bed, she would follow me to the room and either park outside our bedroom door or come into the bedroom and lay in our room. I mean, she's a sheepdog. She's a border collie, right? Partially. So she definitely has those protective instincts. And then when I had the baby, she started following the baby around. So wherever the baby was, the dog was very nearby. Then when I got pregnant again with this pregnancy, The dog actually knew before we did. I know I mentioned in some videos I wasn't feeling well, but then I took a test and it was negative, so I figured it was maybe diet related, so I started tracking my diet. And then several weeks later I took a test again and it was positive. The dog had started following me around. Now, usually on a day-to-day basis, she's nearby, but she might park in the other room or, you know, hang out by the couches while I'm at the dining room table. But she started following me around again within inches. And I was like, oh, sweet Tess, you know, give her some love. And when I tested positive, I finally understood. Oh, she could tell that I was pregnant, and her maternal and protective instincts had kicked in again to be hyper focused and honed in on the person who needed protection. And now, wherever I am, the dog is nearby. Again, within a foot or two. When I'm upstairs in bed, she has locked in at the outside of our bedroom door. The dog's fur sticking in from underneath our door. She is all about protection and the maternal instincts, and the, you know, her sheepdog qualities are kicking in. She's such an awesome dog. So she's just been this huge blessing in our lives. So sometimes she'll make obnoxious noises in my videos, and now you guys have a better idea of who she is, what she's like, and what she looks like. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, I'm uploading a lot lately, so don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you guys again next time. Have a great day. Bye.